past 4 years, I've watched YouTubers across the country send the craziest things into outer space. And at this point in my life, I was sure I had seen it all. Pianos, Mr. Beast burgers, fries, and pretty much anything fast food. But today, I'm about to do what no other YouTuber has ever done in history.
Today, I'm gonna be sending my Tesla into outer space. Now I know what you're thinking. How in the hell would I send a $60,000 car into space? Well, I have something for that. The only problem is my Tesla weighs a ton, and there's no way I'm sending a $60,000 car into outer space. But don't worry, because there is gonna be a Tesla that's going up there. This one, a perfect replica model of my car. It isn't $60,000, but that literally makes this the perfect vehicle to go out there. That just leaves only one more problem. I don't know what I'm doing, so we're headed to another state to meet the smartest man I've ever met in my entire life. We're leaving Colorado and we're heading to... into the butt crack of Florida, New Smyrna Beach. Woo, it's hot.
I decided to schedule a meetup at my parents' house here in Florida where I was going to get all of my answers for my experiment. And I'm calling it the Space Launch. I really didn't have much time to think about a name, so that's all I came up with. Anyways, it was over 100 degrees, so I had to go inside.
Oh, it's hot out there. Smartest man alive, my father.
This is my dad, George, retired military mechanic and high school science teacher, so it's safe to say he knows what he's talking about.
I'm sending my car into space. What do I need to do to get this thing up and rolling?
Well, the first question is, what are you using?
Styrofoam box. Styrofoam box.
How much does it weigh?
2 pounds max. Actually, no. My max is 5 pounds.
Nitrogen?
Helium. I'm using helium.
We're using helium. As the vehicle rises, the temperature will change of the air, which makes the air thinner. And as soon as the weight of the helium and the weight of the atmosphere equalizes, that's when your elevation will stop.
Okay, well, we're back to square one, so we'll have to figure this out in Colorado.
And after a few hours of trying to figure out what I needed to do to make this space launch a success, I realized I didn't just have one problem. I had a total of 3.
What I haven't really been thinking about was if it's too windy, you send a balloon up there 100,000 feet in the air. You'd think it's just gonna fall down and whatever. But with what I'm making, it could honestly float to like 2 states over.
Unfortunately for me, this was true and yet another obstacle to face because this is our launch zone. And 20 minutes west of our location is what I call the danger zone. Home to America's most insane mountains in existence that can reach altitudes up to 14,000 feet. That's literally half the distance it takes to hike Mount Everest. So my fate lies in the hands of Mother Nature because if the winds travel west, it would undoubtedly result in failure.
Believe me, guys, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. Hopefully it works. That was just for cinematic purposes. There's no one there gonna grab this.
My second problem was after looking at everything online from articles to videos, I was told that the balloon wouldn't even make it to space. So I began to question, is this experiment even possible? And that leads me to the last problem, temperature. The atmosphere at ground level will completely differ from the atmosphere in outer space. With the environment reaching sub-zero temperatures, I'm gonna have to put my equipment to the test. So I put my camera in the refrigerator for an hour.
It's gotta work, it's gotta work. It still works.
And then I put my camera in the freezer for an hour.
This one works too.
So now it's time to get working on our payload.
I think of you from time to time, more than I thought I would. You were just too kind, and I was too young to know. That's all that really matters. I was a fool.
Please leave your message for 30.
24 hours before launch day, I decided to test out my equipment before I sent it up to space. And I'm glad that I did because the $350 helium tank that I bought was completely empty. So not only did that add to the list of frustrations, but it also added to the list of things that I needed to buy. I needed helium and I needed it fast. So I jumped on the phone and started making some calls.
There is no one available to take your call at the moment.
No!
Worldwide shortage.
Oh, it's a worldwide shortage of of helium?
Correct. One of the biggest helium producers is across the pond over in the Ukraine. Right now, we're only allocating it for research purposes and medical purposes. Like, we can't do any sort of balloons or anything like that right now.
The next thing I had to do was Google search helium shops near me, which led me to Party City full of things to buy, including enough helium to get my balloon off the ground. One thing I forgot to mention is that I only have one chance to get this done, or else the $2,000 I spent on equipment will go to waste. That means the knowledge that I already have will be everything, and my calculations will have to be spot on.
Currently, I have 8 tanks of helium, 1 balloon, and $0 in my bank account. That means if there's ever a chance to get this done, it's gotta be right now.
At 6 a.m., the winds were traveling south, but I only had a 3-hour window because at 9 a.m., the winds were going to travel west. So I hurried the entire process to do the one thing that mattered the most, launching my balloon. But I noticed as soon as I let go of that payload, I had another problem. I may not have put enough helium in the balloon because it was traveling so slow. At 9:21 a.m., I got a notification from the GPS saying that my car was 4.61 miles away, moving at 9 miles per hour. And 3 minutes later, saying that it was parked in the middle of a freeway. And this is where things got weird, because at 9:33, it said that it even got closer, but moving at a faster speed. And at 9:45 a.m., this was the last known location that my GPS pinged for my payload. So I began to wonder if I was ever going to get it back, until I got this last notification.
All right, so I now got a location on the GPS. That means it has landed and it's time to go get it. We're gonna have to see where it's at. And according to where I looked at it on my phone, it said it was like in a field, so that's good. As long as it's not in a mountain, I am fine. GPS says it's somewhere out here in this field right here, and I have no idea where it's at. The terrain is horrible. There's so many bugs out here, oh my God. If you guys can see, my car is way over there. Hearing a lot of animals here, dude, this is not good. Dude, I've looked everywhere and I can't find this thing at all. Oh, dude, I found it! I found it! Let's go! I found it! Oh my God. I got it, dude, it landed, it landed. Car's still in, oh, the car's still there? GoPro's turned off. No way, dude. All right, got the payload.
As I secured the payload and was making my way back to my car, I only had one thing on my mind, and that was going home and reviewing the footage. Because if my car did not make it to space, all of this would have been for literally nothing. So at this moment, everything rides on the GoPro. Spoiler alert, it didn't make it to space at all. Not even close. The reason my balloon did not make it to space was pretty simple. The size of my balloon was 600 grams, and the weight of the payload was 1,600 grams, or so I thought. It actually weighed 2,400, which is way too heavy. And with the positive lift of 100, it calculates to this. 274 minutes it would take to go to space, and it would only go 1.5 meters per second. 1,600 grams equals 3.5 pounds, and 2,400 grams equals 5.2. And with it traveling 1.5 meters per second, that's only 4 feet. So this time my payload will only weigh 1,600 grams, and that's going to calculate to 25,640 meters with 4.9 meters per second. This means it will reach 84,000 feet, and it will travel over 15 feet per second. And that
is literally just the longest, overcomplicated, obnoxious way of saying it weighed too much.
This was my second attempt launching this balloon, and before I let it go, I had a few words.
One step for man, one greater leap for mankind.
And just like that, our payload was on its way to space. So far, we're looking pretty good because the balloon was moving pretty fast. It reached 500 feet in about 2 minutes. And a couple minutes later, it reached 1,000 feet. 20 minutes after launch, we had passed the highest mountain in Colorado, and it was blowing past 14,000 feet. And not soon after, we passed 29,000 feet, which means we cleared the highest point of Mount Everest. And to my surprise, it was still climbing without any issue. And this made me so happy because this meant we had a real possibility of it actually going into outer space. And after an entire hour of flight time, we were quickly approaching the Earth's outer atmosphere. And just when I thought that things couldn't get any better, because we had just entered outer space. But once again, I was wrong, because the very next thing that happened gave me chills. And it happens right now. Our balloon had popped and it looked so beautiful, and it was quickly falling at 280 miles per hour towards the Earth. The violent winds alone could destroy my entire styrofoam payload. And out of this entire flat area of farmland, it just so happened that there's a house directly underneath the payload. So after getting my first and only ping on GPS, I decided to track it down.
God, dude, I'm so nervous, bro. I don't want to like trespass on their property. Oh my God, dude, it's been literally in the middle of nowhere. God, dude, this is so awkward. Oh, dude. Okay, is the GoPro in there? Oh.
My heart was beating out of my chest, and I was so afraid because I thought that the payload may have caused damage to someone or something on this property.
I'm just gonna knock on their door and see if I had any damages, and I'll have to pay for it if I do. Dude, I'm so nervous, bro. I'm so nervous.
No one answered the door, so I was off the hook for now.
I'm gonna take that as a sign that no one's home. Get my payload and get out of here. Oh, dude, I was so nervous, but I got the payload, and I just hope that this time I got the footage that I need to get up to space. There's only one way to find out, and that's just going home and reviewing the footage.